Hello, welcome to my Sunday from. So today I have a mukbang. It's a fried burrito from leftovers with some ranch sauce. It's more like tome or like aioli. Then I have a protein bar, ice cold Diet Coke, some hot fries. Got my knife and fork. Open this up. Have you guys seen one of those people that were lighting Tesla dealerships on fire? He was a terrorist. He's like on the no-flight list. I was thinking, how's he gonna get home? Oh wait, they're trying to deport him. They're trying to deport him. This was during Biden admin that they were trying to deport him. Now look at him. It's even worse. Like when you get administration that don't do nothing but cap, that's what we end up with. And he's leading an uprisal too. So, you know, if that's not illegal enough. And of course, they're attacking Tesla because of Elon Musk. And then they're screaming about he's an immigrant, that he should be deported. And this whole time they were literally using the immigration struggle as, you know, as weaponization. And here they are saying the same thing about Ellen. And they put the pressure on Canada so much, I think that Canada sanctioned Ellen over tariffs, like, you know, and now everybody's, you know, really triggered, and everybody's really like into the tariff thing, seeing how this is playing out, and you know, just like if it's like a real life drama. Here's a good look at kind of like a piece of the burrito where it's fried. I literally breaded it with parm, Italian breadcrumbs, and just fried it. I coated it with the regular ranch, just plain, and then I rolled it in the parm breadcrumbs and I fried it. Like a regular wet burrito. I'm like thinking I want to get a regular wet burrito next burrito I get. Maybe with chili. I know where to get it. I think at Skyline they put chili on the burritos. That sounds good. But I was looking at all the green food. I'm so excited. They're gonna have like cupcakes and cake, St. Patrick's cake. At Skyline they're having green spaghetti, Krispy Kreme they're having clover theme, you know, like leprechaun little theme Krispy Kreme donuts. I love Krispy Kreme. Let's open this up. Ooh. That is so good. Let me cut some more pieces. So now I think for the most part of my channel, We're just, you know, trying to make people more aware that, you know, there's like politicians that need to be ousted. And, you know, people who do hold authority over a bunch of, you know, like a population that need more, you know, we need to be more aware that these things are happening. Even though we change administration, we need to hold everybody accountable. And if that means exposing them or coming forward with your story, if that means, you know, voting, let's all get together. Let's all do something and make a big change. We cannot just rely on one president to do every little thing for us. We need to get, you know, we need to get it together. We need to be more proactive. And, you know, because we are a democracy, we literally need to, you know, do the footwork ourselves. If you have to write to your local leaders, do that. Whatever it is, they're going to read it, they're going to hear it, or, you know. You know, and 9 times out of 10, they'll understand your position, they'll listen, you know, they'll be able to comprehend it enough to where it will, you know, it will like conjure up a solution in their mind, so that way you're included, you know, on their next move, you know, because, you know, why babysit an issue if somebody decides, and if you're our local leader, if somebody decides to write you and they've exerted that energy, not only that, but directed it, you know, at your desk, you know, obviously you're gonna want to pay attention to what's been on their mind and weighing on them, you know. You want to not have these things in place that are burdening somebody and helping, you know, say a bad guy get away with, you know, whatever, you know. So, I mean, once you're done reading it, you know, automatically come up with a plan. Implement something, you know, within reason, and just for the here and now, temporarily, until you find a bigger solution, better solution that can be permanently in place to address these things and make sure that everybody's on board with the change, you know, because it might not only benefit the community, benefit that person, but also make things run more smoothly, as is most bills that get passed that are pro-democracy, which is what we are. All these socialist Democrats need to go somewhere, including AOC, you know. And if you're not a socialist Democrat or whatever, because there's no such thing, if you're just a tyrant like Kathy Hochul, Karen Bass, Tiffany Henyard, you know, so you just need to go. Why humiliate yourself further? Jasmine Crockett. Just go. Just go. You see how little people envy you now. You see, you know, how little impact you have now. You know, can you imagine the impact you'll have when you leave as far as being MIA? I can guarantee you it's zero. If you're a burden now, it's just gonna be, you know, void, the hole. You know, it's just gonna bring about positive change instantly and positivity and a brighter future. It's just gonna instill true government in place of where you're at and standing now. How is that bad? Just leave. Save yourself, you know, a court case. The public embarrassment and humiliation your podium is now. You know, another breath of divestment. Another trip, whoever does that horsehair weave. To the drugstore to get that cheap makeup. You know, Walmart for your two-piece suits. Looking like you're going to a church picnic. We know you're not, by the way. Loomis flew out. I mean, look at Kamala Harris. We never judged you before. But you pushed us to the point where you're literally calling to throw out our government as we know it in a democratic society. If you ask me, you're the first one that's going to leave. That's what you thought we were going to do? That's what we thought, you know, hey, let's just follow this lady's vote. She knows what she's talking about. DeSantis knows what he's talking about. That's literally a punchline. Jeez. Not even Biden was crazy enough to sit there and entertain Zelensky. But you guys are y'all are another kind. Let me tell you, because what type of idiot would sit there and not doubt this clown's intentions and just, you know, dumb it down to he's in need right now? You started literally a nuclear war, and he's in need right now. You know who's in need right now? The one chasing clout, using Zelensky to overthrow the government. And you might not have wanted Donald Trump to become the elected president. But deep down inside, I kind of doubt it a little bit, because you are the type to want to chase that clout. You are the type of pigeon chicken head ragamuffin that would drag politics until you got a little bit of spotlight and ended up getting interviewed over your position in the government as far as the White House. As far up as the White House. How dare you? But like I said, here we are now. Here we are now when you're dumbing down, you know, anti-government sentiment on the news and media because some chicken head asked you to. Because some ragamuffin needs you to. Because somebody's PR, you know, hit you up, tipped you off, and asked you to aid their disaster cleanup. Look at Chicago. And yes, I'm talking about Tiffany Henyard. How could you doubt me? Why would I say anything about Lightfoot? I don't see how, you know, how anybody could hate her. To be honest. Man, I can't wait till they change mayors in LA. I cannot wait. Like, I just know, like, I just have this feeling in me, like, there's something greater. There's something just sitting there. Somebody's just sleeping on you guys. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on me. I wonder who it's gonna be. But I have this feeling inside of me, and it doesn't shake off. You can see the filling that comes out, like, just like, almost like a beef stew that's been cooked down. Don't forget to subscribe before tonight. Subscribe now if you can. Hit that subscribe button and you won't miss out on my next milestone. That's why I was looking at St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to do it before St. Patrick's Day. Because St. Patrick's Day is like, it's a holiday for me. I don't know if you guys realize that it's a holiday on this channel. Even though, you know, maybe I don't celebrate it like everybody else. It's just a nutter butter. I'm only gonna eat a half now because, like, in the middle of the night I get like cravings. And since I already ate it, I'll just divvy it up for tonight, which will be 150 calories. I know when you guys are fasting, it's hard to like keep up with stuff, but when you do it, when you're doing it like when you're fasting, your body naturally accepts the calorie as part of your diet schedule. It begins accepting it as opposed to storing it. And so like it's like right away when you start fasting, it's needed, it's necessary, and it fuels you up, and you know you can keep going. And you know, if you're doing intermittent fasting, you know, it's a little bit different. I think it's a lot easier because there's so many supplements and just like diet plans and stuff like that, programs that you can find to enrich that health journey. So I mean, it used to be not known when I started doing that. I used to do 1 meal a day, but it's kind of the same type of situation where your body uses the nourishment and stuff and kind of fuels off of the fats and, you know, all that stuff inside of your food that kind of you're not supposed to have, but like, you know, in a regular, normal, natural diet, you know, we just eat kind of healthy but normal, and it'll use all those extra cow and all that just, you know, to kind of give you more strength and energy. And it's kind of a little bit different, but you know, it's still, you know, like these things don't really hurt you, but it's good to stick to a diet, you know, things that you come to believe in will get you, you know, further you in life. Yeah, and I think, you know, it's like a thing where as long as you understand, you know, you can eat normal and live normal and kind of be happy with who you are and how God made you. And, you know, whether you're pushing P or under, you know, underweight or lanky, you know, you're just fine. You're just fine the way you are. And if you can say that, if you can look in the mirror and say that, that's like, you know, that's a big deal, because most people can't. You know, they just want to look in the mirror and start picking out right away, you know, what they like and what they don't like. And I think a lot of times we shouldn't do that, you know. And I find myself doing that sometimes, so I avoid mirrors. But when I really started buying mirrors, you know, I started, you know, thinking more level-headed and saying, you know what, I think that me, you know, my image is bigger and better, and I think that I can bring, you know, shine my own light and help, you know, shine some positivity into my world. And that's 100% the only thing that counts. Try saying that in the mirror. You know, it's not a distraction. It'd be 100% truth, you know, and or facts. So, you know, if you have a hard time looking in the mirror, like sometimes I do, try saying that. You know, be fearless. Live fearlessly. Don't be too scared, you know, to face yourself. And, you know, just embrace your, you know, raw you. Just, you know, be able to look yourself in the face and accept it, you know. Accept who you are and embrace everything about you. But if you like this video, give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. My stone different. Bye-bye.